says government subsidies have been proposed to Cariana to encourage farmers in Rochelle, the country's principal agricultural region, to implement certain new farming techniques. Unless these techniques are implemented, erosion of productive topsoil cannot be controlled. Unfortunately, farmers cannot afford to shoulder the entire cost of the new techniques, which are more expensive than those currently used. Therefore, without subsidies, agricultural output in Rochelle will inevitably decline. And then Betty comes through and says, but erosion in Rochelle is caused by recurring floods, which will end next year once Cariana completes the hydroelectric dam it is building across the region's major river. Therefore, Rochelle's total agriculture output will stabilize at its present level, even without subsidies.
All right, so what is Alan's conclusion?
Alan's conclusion is that the farmers without the help of the government, agricultural output is going to decline because of the topsoil situation.
Yes, because, okay, so yeah, so the government, this is background information. The government is saying, hey, these have been proposed to implement these new techniques. Unless these are implemented, this is what's going to happen. So this is like reasoning number one, is that erosion, yes. And then unfortunately, farmers cannot afford the cost of these new techniques, which are currently used. So this is kind of like introducing, oh, we need to consider, like, yeah, we know we need this, but we can't afford it. Therefore, without subsidies, it's not going to, or it, like without subsidies, the ag will definitely decline. What does this argument depend on so far? Like if you had to just make something up, like what, would you see a gap here anywhere, or something that's kind of like needed to know?
So it's being proposed. This isn't a guarantee that the farmers are going to get it. So I guess that like maybe that the government has the money to.
Okay, what is our conclusion though? What our conclusion is, without subsidies, agricultural output will inevitably decline. So so this argument is assuming what?
It's assuming that there's no other issues that could lead to decline in agriculture.
I don't know.
No? Okay.
Assuming that, why why do they think that it's going to decline? Like what's going to cause the decline?
The erosion of the topsoil.
So
And the only way to help.
This right here, right, must have something to do with output, right?
Okay.
Because like why, well, maybe erosion isn't a bad thing, right? Maybe we don't need to control the erosion. And then the other thing is subsidies. Is it the only way that farmers can get the money is through subsidies? Isn't it kind of assuming that this is the only way that they can afford it? Like what if they could get the money somewhere else? And then okay, so now Betty, what is Betty's conclusion?
Betty's conclusion is that Rochelle's problem is the flooding because they don't have a dam. And so her output is going to be fine without this topsoil technique. Or it's not, it's going to stabilize.
Yeah, she doesn't think that we need. Yeah, so the erosion is causing by the floods. And the floods are going to end once we have the dam. And so these are actually going to stabilize as present levels without subsidies. Okay, so we're looking for what is necessary for Betty's argument to have a chance. So what needs to be true in order for these to subsidize without needing subsidies? Essentially, that is what we're looking for. So go ahead and read through these and let me know if you like it, leave it, or hate it.
Okay. A, building a dam across Rochelle's major river will not reduce any recurrent flooding that occurs in regions of Guyana other than Rochelle. I don't think that that's relevant to this argument.
Needed?
No. That occurs in regions other than Rochelle. This is about Rochelle right now.
This is about Rochelle. Yeah, let's be about Rochelle. Excellent. Yeah. I don't care. This is gonna hurt your farmland. It's helping Rochelle.
This is about Rochelle.
Excellent.
B, the new farming techniques that must be implemented to control soil erosion in Rochelle are not well suited to other. Again, this is about Rochelle.
Yeah. You don't care. That doesn't mean we're all about Rochelle.
All about Rochelle. The current yearly output, if any, from Rochelle's land that will be permanently underwater once the dam is completed will at least be matched by additional yearly output from Rochelle's remaining land. And I was frustrated with it when I read it, and I just said, okay.
Okay, so we don't understand it. This is what I do on the test. If I read an answer choice and I don't understand it, I just leave it and move on. I don't sit there and waste my time thinking about it unless I have to. Because what if one of the other answer choices is significantly better and I don't have to waste time on it? So we'll leave it for now.
Okay. D, the cost to the government of Guyana to operate the hydroelectric dam will not be greater than the projected cost of subsidizing the farmers of Rochelle in the implementation of the new farming technique. I didn't like this answer choice because I don't think it's about the cost. Betty's more focused. Betty doesn't even care about the cost.
Right. We don't need it to not be greater because who knows who's paying for the dam? We don't know that the farmers are paying for it.
That's true. Right.
Oh, doesn't matter. Excellent.
E, the government of carry on, I don't know, has sufficient financial resources both to subsidize its farmers' implementation of new farming techniques and to operate a hydroelectric dam. I shouldn't I think I thought that this one, I went back and forth probably between C and E. Sufficient financial
Okay, so whenever this happens, go back and read what your conclusion is that we're focused on. So if you get to 2 and you feel like you're going to go back and forth, just go like realign yourself with the truth and be like, okay, my goal is this. So what is our conclusion?
The conclusion is that we can do it without the subsidies. So I guess for E, it doesn't matter that there are sufficient resources because it can be done without the subsidies.
Yeah, so we don't need, why are we going to pay for these new farming techniques if they're not needed? So that doesn't destroy our argument. So on the test, I would just select C and move on. But I would, if I'm taking a time section though, for studying purpose, I would flag it and then come back and understand C then. Or if I would miss it, I would come back and review C. But on the test, I would just take it and move on and not even really understand it because I know the other ones are wrong.
Right.
And then we didn't even waste time on it. Like we read it, it didn't especially if you're certain on these other ones being wrong. Okay, so C, the current yearly output, if any, from Rochelle's land that will be permanently underwater once the dam is completed will at least be matched by additional yearly output from Rochelle's remaining land. Okay, so why could this be true? So the flood is what's causing this erosion. Erosion is the problem. And we're going to build this dam. And what's going to happen once we have the dam? There's not going to be flooding, so there's not going to be erosion. Okay, so the current yearly output, if any, from Rochelle's land that will be permanently underwater once the dam is completed will at least be matched by additional yearly output from the remaining land. So if we build this, I'm confused about once it says once the dam is completed part.
I feel confused about a lot in that answer choice. I guess I mean, there's flooding and then there's being permanently underwater, you know?
I don't understand why the dam causes. Oh, I guess, okay, this is a stretch, but I'm thinking like, they're thinking, oh, when it floods, it runs off. So whenever, now if we have this dam and it over rains, like it might flood, but it will, at least the like topsoil will stay there once it dries up, maybe?
Maybe.
So the current yearly output, if any, from the land that will be permanently underwater once the dam is completed will be at least matched by the additional yearly output from Rochelle. I guess what this is saying is that after the dam is built, whatever land they're using is going to create more of an output than it currently is. But I feel like I get lost in all of this part.
Yes.
And I just need to focus on the bare bones, which is like, yes, the current yearly output now is going to be at least matched by the currently output next year, because we need that to be true, right?
Yes.
But I don't like that answer at all.
No, by additional yearly output.
But I love that you went with it without even understanding it because you knew the other ones were wrong.
Yes.